For more news, weather, and sports, listen to Livewire 1039.
In Greenville, it's cloudy and 77. In Irwin, it's 70 with fog. In Johnson City, it's mostly cloudy and 75.
The man, the myth, the mouth. Dan Patrick. Weekdays 9 until noon on 1420 WEMB Sports Radio.
You got Tri-City Sports now on 1420 WEMB Sports Radio. I'm Marky Bilson. I'm your host. Take you the next 90 minutes. You can also listen in. Say you're driving in your car and you get into Asheville and I can't pick up 1420 anymore. No sweat. Get that old iPhone out. Come on, hook it up to the cigarette letter. Jetbroadcasting.live. Or... can't do that. Okay, go to the 1420 WEMB Sports Radio Facebook page as soon as you can. You can watch a show on archive any old time. We aim to please right there. Before I start talking a little bit more about the Appalachian League, it was an exciting day, as Matt Polly explained to you. There is an article out from The Athletic, and our friend Caleb Calhoun, who is on this program at 12:30 every Tuesday, sprouting his love for Taylor Swift as well as Tennessee Volunteers information. And he's got a great story up right now. I mean, it's about 5 days old, but it's the best victory and loss for Tennessee against every SEC program there ever was, except I believe Sewanee. He didn't get into Sewanee. But he doesn't just have the 14 programs up. He has Tulane and Georgia Tech up. That's impressive. And I would point this out to you that you've got, when you look at them, you can go to our 1420 WEMB Sports Radio Facebook page and find the link to that article. I link it right up to the Tulane page because it's a little known fact. I used to be Tulane's studio host. But other than that, just that kind of, Anyway, The Athletic, this is a website that is really taking off. I have never seen, I'm seeing the writers that The Athletic is taking away from major newspapers and all this. And it's a subscription service, but there's just a lot of stuff. Anyway, Athletic has coverage of Tennessee. And as All for Tennessee's Caleb Calhoun, who joins me, like I said, thanks to Asian House, every Tuesday at 12:30 on this show, he writes sort of a what if, and it is that the Vols could have had Gary Patterson. And if the Vols had Gary Patterson, where would the Vols be? Why, this shows the incompetence was going around Mike Hamilton in the court. And I get that. Hey, look, I wonder, right now, this program could have had Mike Leach. Why do they have Jeremy Pruitt? I'm not sure that's such a good deal. You go a little younger, I'll give you that with Pruitt, but then again, you don't have the wisdom and experience, or certainly not the offensive mind that you would with Mike Leach. And also, I think that Leach would fit in very well in the SEC right now. Right now, the SEC has a lot of dull coaches. Who's Mr. Personality in the SEC? Please don't tell me Nick Saban. If Nick Saban is Mr. Personality, we have a problem. Who is it then? Think, Will Muschamp? That's a problem if that's the case. Who is Ed Orgeron? Is it Derek Mason? Whoever, because he jumps up and, he'll dance after beating Tennessee or something? Is Vanderbilt's head football coach the most charismatic in the SEC? I'm not willing to say that. He'd be a candidate. And it's not, what are the other 13 schools doing if that's the case? Certainly it's not Jeremy Pruitt, who could be called Coach Dull at times. Anyway, if not all the time. But here's the situation. You've got, with Tennessee, they could have had, writes The Athletic, Gary Patterson as TCU's coach. And of course, TCU has done great things, and that would have fixed the woes of Tennessee football over the last 10 years and so on and so. And people, they ask, where did the demise of Tennessee football begin? And they point to the firing of Phil Fulmer, which is why Phil Fulmer is now back as the athletic director. And that is really convenient revisionist history. Now, I don't know. Maybe you're a teenager and you don't remember 10 years ago when Tennessee fired Phil Fulmer. Phil Fulmer in 2008 may not have had the same, oh my goodness, what a dummy, that Butch Jones did. He may not have had people posting pictures of him in the band up, but let me tell you something, he was not a popular figure. I can even remember the Wikipedia page for Phil Fulmer was continually being changed into Vols need to fire Phil Fulmer. Vols need to, the Wikipedia page at the time. He was not a popular man. And after Tennessee lost to South Carolina by 3 touchdowns in 2008, it basically sealed his fate. He would not be the coach of Tennessee anymore. The other thing that dealt Phil Fulmer in is he had suffered a losing season just 2 years ago. Excuse me, not 2 years ago, but 3 years before, with a team that was ranked in the top 5 to begin the campaign. He brought in Brett Schaefer, decided he should be the quarterback to start the season. He wasn't on the team at the end of the year. Wound up transferring to Ole Miss. Then, although Tennessee rebounded, they had some, I remember in 2007, a very close, got all the breaks victory against South Carolina in 2007, won the game in Neyland in overtime, I should point that out. But still, that was what got them into the SEC East, or the SEC title game, had them win their last division back in 2007. And then you had the Eric Ainge interceptions throughout the fourth quarter. And it just didn't, LSU went on to win a national championship. It just didn't seem like it was the same program it was 10 years before. Things were falling down. And Phil Fulmer did not seem to be the coach that was going to be the modern football coach. Don't forget, when Fulmer was fired at Tennessee, he applied for the vacancy at Clemson. They gave it to Dabo Swinney. I don't think they're regretting that decision in South Carolina. The Vols recruiting class had fallen down the ranking to number 35. Now, I'm not big on recruiting rankings, but most Tennessee fans are. And most media, I think wrongfully, but they are. And that Tennessee had fallen to 35 under Phil Fulmer. Hey, could he get the job done? Where was David Cutcliffe? What was Fulmer without Cutcliffe? You can actually look and see that. What Fulmer's record with Cutcliffe, Fulmer's record without, it's night and day. And so here came the opportunity, and, Tennessee fans, they get in their mind that, John Gruden is going to coach their team and all that. No, that was never going to happen. In fact, I believe that the reason why John Gruden is the Oakland Raiders coach today is because Tennessee fans kept putting his name out there, if you will, that he became a viable coaching candidate, even though he hadn't coached in 10 years. Anyhow, he's stockpiling the picks in Oakland, and, so we'll see what happens when the team moves to Vegas and all this. There could be they're getting Antonio Brown, and so. Anyway, the deal was at that time, though, the trendy thing, the big thing was to hire the fired pro coach and bring him into college football. It had worked so well at Southern California. It had worked so well at Alabama. Nick Saban was 15-17 in the pros. Then he went to Alabama. Bobby Petrino, and I don't know if the timeline was quite there, and I'm trying to remember when Petrino, but he made Arkansas into an 11-game winner after failing with the Atlanta Falcons. Hey, Dave Wannstedt, after failing with the Miami Dolphins, he returned to his alma mater, Pitt, in his last 3 years there. They averaged 9 victories a season, and he led them to their only 10-victory season since the Dan Marino era. The thing to do at the time was to hire the old NFL coach. In comes Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin is a breath of fresh air. Lane Kiffin is not an old fat lineman. Lane Kiffin talks tough in the press conference. Tennessee, who doesn't beat Florida, talks about beating Florida. Here's the beautiful Layla Kiffin. This guy must have something on the ball. He's able to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive coordinator away from him. Happens to be his dad, but, He's able to take Steve Spurrier's quarterbacks coach from him. Happens to be another in-law, but, just if you want to get into it, but he's young, he's brash, he's good-looking, he's the future, he's the new thing. He's not humble, he is everything Tennessee would like to be, and he is saying this is what Tennessee is. He even names his son Knox after Knoxville. It turned out Southern California came a-calling, and then suddenly Tennessee had to face up to the fact that there were actually more prestigious college football programs out there than they were. And one of them was in Los Angeles. Now that's what happened. You can talk about rejecting Gary Patterson at the time, but in 2009, let's face facts. Disposed head football coach from the NFL, that was the fad in college football hiring. And yes, Lane Kiffin's name carried more weight than did Gary Patterson's, or even Mike Leach's. Now, Tennessee probably should have listened to Al Davis, but by that time, it's all about youth, and Lane Kiffin's 31. Don't listen to the cranky old man, Al Davis. Heck, what's he done for the Raiders since 2002? They're a laughingstock. Maybe, you should have said, okay, we're hiring the coach that asked Sebastian Janikowski to kick a 74-yard field goal. I'll put up with, yes, I thought it at the time, too. But still, that was the fad. That was what, it is total hindsight. It is total, it's just like the old, if the Brooklyn Dodgers had put Roberto Clemente on their roster right after they signed him, he never would have signed with the Pirates, and they could have had Roberto Clemente. Or, what's another one that got away? If six other teams didn't pass on him, they could have had Tom Brady in any of the first 5 rounds of the NFL draft. Something like that. You've always got but let's consider what it was at the time. And even with that, Al Davis saying, I'm firing for cause, I'm not honoring this contract, the man is a nut, don't hire him, People didn't believe in Al Davis back then. He tried to kick a 74-yard field goal. That's not stupid. No, that's the next big thing. I think there is a little bit of revisionist history in this. Tennessee passed on Gary Patterson and what it means now. It is kind of like, gee, the Steelers passed on Tom Brady. They brought in T. Martin instead. Who had won the national championship? Yeah. It's a bit of revisionist history here. There's a bit of, what if? But I'm going to tell you this. If Tennessee didn't bring in Lane Kiffin at that time, somebody else would have. And they really would have thought that Tennessee had missed the mark back then. Of course, Kiffin, got the balls on probation. Vince Dooley was on this very show and talked about his son Derek and, said, he was kind of dealt no one one count to begin with. You can buy that or not, But it is kind of intriguing. And also, let's not forget this fact. I mean, players aren't coming from Tennessee anymore, or not that they really once ever did, but they seem to be being bred more in Georgia and staying home at Georgia a little bit more. And ever since Mark Richt went to Georgia, Bulldog stock has gone up, Ball stock has gone down. He's kept them in Georgia, and although the occasional player, Riggs, Dobbs, has come from there, or that you would have thought may have otherwise gone to the Bulldogs, hey, it takes more than just the occasional player, and there's always going to be an advantage for Georgia. I'm Marky Bilson. Let's hear from Asian House.
Home of the Happy Box meal, featuring plentiful appetizers and rice around your choice of 20 mouth-watering Chinese dishes. Or try their Japanese fare, sushi, sashimi, and the grill. I had my birthday dinner at Asian House and was most satisfied. Find the great menu and deals at goasianhouse.com. Use Tom for catering. You'll be most satisfied too. Asian House, nestled in the Shops on West Market on the way to Jonesboro. Mention 1420 WEMB Sports Radio and get 10% off.
Barter Theater is a world-renowned destination attraction in Southwest Virginia, nestled beautifully on historic Main Street in Abingdon. Barter Theater's exciting 2019 season is filled with love, laughter, and passion, and has something for everyone. Visit bartertheater.com for more information and see what is happening at Barter on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
The Farmers Market Community Yard Sale is happening now every Tuesday from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Located on 3600 Unicoi Drive in Unicoi. Stop by for a great deal on unique items and stock up on locally grown fresh produce. Yum! The Town of Unicoi Farmers Market and Community Yard Sale will be held every Tuesday through the month of October from 8 to 1 p.m. The Farmers Market and Community Yard Sale. For more information, contact the Town of Unicoi. Oh, beautiful summer in Appalachia. Time to relax in the outdoor beauty that is all around us. Increase your outdoor time easily when you get your Polly Island rope hammock from Mox. Either suspended by a stand or two trees, Mox has many styles to choose from. Check out the Duracord Web outdoor furniture too. Mox is famous for having the most comfortable seating in the world, for the inside and the outside. Come and sit for yourself at Mox on 101 West Main Street in Jonesboro.
1420